Fala galera do G-Fight, Diego Ribas, direto de Las Vegas, numa conexão com a Flórida. How are you, Mike Perry? Thank you for your time.
Hey, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Mike, you're fighting Thiago Alves on 27th of April, and how do you see Thiago as an opponent?
Thiago is like that Pokemon Golem, the one with the rock head and then the arms. And, I think he's very tough. I've been sparring with someone who is like a brick wall. When I hit them in the body so hard, I hurt my hands. Um, My hands are ready for the pain and punishment that I plan to put Thiago through. I'm excited for this fight. I'm very ready. Estoy listo, and it's simple as that, man. It's just a matter of time now before we get in the ring.
Love it. So Thiago, he fought in bare-knuckle rules before, like twice, years
Mm-hmm.
ago. You have more experience with those rules. And Thiago, when you see Thiago as an MMA fighter, he used to kick a lot and fly knees and knees, especially because now you have like more experience in the bare knuckle rules. Do you believe you have an advantage because of that?
I believe I have the advantage, anyways. Tiago was experienced. Uh, I seen on a video that he said he was waiting for this fight, and I don't see how that is because I came to bare knuckle and he left as soon as I got there, and so I've been on a tear. Uh, is very suiting for my style. I think you talk about his kicks. I've seen a few people talk about his kicks, but in my opinion, his kicks were very old school. He had the old school Muay Thai style of kicking that top thigh, bringing the leg around and over. And now it has transitioned much to calf kicks. And so, like, with that said, I obviously neither one of us will be kicking, so I think it suits both of us. He's very much an upper body style guy, so he will be tough when I hit him, and he will, he's got a 1-1-2. He likes to throw a jab jab right hand, and he moves his head off center. Um, kind of, but I'll have to figure it out when I'm in there about like once we get into a brawl, or will he back up and be more patient, or will he come forward and try to bring it to me? So these are things that I will only find out in the moment.
And when you look, you both, you and Thiago, it's gonna be a war, right? There is no other way to see this fight happening.
Uh, yeah, I guess, but I'm in my head. I want it to be one way, but I'm prepared for all ways. I want to be clean and perform well. And last time I fought at this weight class, I did perform well. I was only hit one time by my opponent when I fought at 185, and but now Tiago gets to come up a little bit to 185 and build some strength in his body and his style, and not have to cut as much weight um, to deplete his body. So he will have some strengths there, but I think my speed and my technique, my movement and my abilities will overwhelm him. And last night on Twitter, I said, in the Eddie Alvarez fight, I shouldn't have let Eddie quit. It's hard when you're in the moment and you've won and everything kind of settles down, but I shouldn't have. I don't know what I could have done. I can't do what Alex Pereira did and tell the referee, "Hold on, wait. He's got to fight me more. He's got to answer for the things he said. He's got to come out here and take this beating like a man." And I said last night I won't let Tiago quit on himself. I'm going to make him face the pain. And when I hit him, he's going to have no choice but to come back out for another round and get knocked out.
Mike, as I told you before, I live in Vegas and I've been covering UFC for a while. Actually, I was covering some of your fights. When we see your style and the bare knuckle rules and the way you perform, is it fair to say that you found yourself, like you fit perfectly for this sport?
I will take that. I will. I, there was a time when I would, try to take the things people would say and be like, oh, but this, oh, but that, but no excuses. And I mean, I've always been a big puncher. I've always wanted to just brawl it out in the center of the octagon or the ring or wherever we're fighting and just throw the hands. I've always favored boxing as my first choice in a fight. Even on the ground, it was punching, ground and pound. So, I will take that. I am the king of violence. And, another thing Thiago said in that video, he was like, oh, he's the king of this shit. Well, that was self-proclaimed by him. And I was actually given a title called King of Violence. So it's not self-proclaimed.
Sounds fair. Sounds fair. I gotta be honest to you, Mike. My audience doesn't follow too much bare knuckle, especially in Brazil. It's not as big as can be right now, at least. And I got a few questions for you about the rules and the sport itself. Uh, Coming from MMA or even boxing, bare knuckle, since you don't have gloves, the chance to break your hand, I'm assuming it's higher, right? So I believe you cannot punch as hard as you can when you have the traditional boxing gloves. So, but at the same time, we see a lot of cuts, a lot of blood. But what about the damage, brain damage or whatever the damage? Because you cannot hit as hard, is it fair to say the damage is a little bit less? How does it work for you in your point of view as a fighter?
I feel like I can get some pretty good damage off on people. Penetrating shots. I mean, it's like a mental thing. As I've had more experience in bare knuckle, squeezing that fist harder, and when I make contact, and um, maybe there is less brain damage because there's more artificial, surface damage and scarring and cuts. Um, but to me, a fight is a fight. Gloves or no gloves, it can hurt to get hit, and you can hurt them when you hit them. So I've had the last two opponents quit because I hit them bare knuckle. They quit. They did not continue on. If they had continued on uh, to take the rest of that whooping I was ready to give them, I think that would be a tough question to ask. I think if they can survive and be tough as I think Thiago is, um, I think he's in for a lot of damage and a lot of pain and maybe me as well, but I'm ready for that. I think I hit significantly harder than he does. My significant strikes will outweigh his and be more damaging.
Okay. And in terms of how you see the sport, do you believe bare knuckle is going to be a global sport, like, let's say, like as MMA is right now? Do you believe the bare knuckle has the potential to reach other countries and other markets everywhere?
I think it's a very popular sport in other countries, such as Russia. I see lots of videos of the Russians fighting in, different rings, doing bare knuckle boxing, and they respect the toughness of of it that it takes to do this, and there's a lot of skill involved. It's boxing at the end of the day, and there's a sweet science to boxing. And you know, they say hit and don't get hit, but there are many ways to deal with that and oppose yourself on your opponent. And you know, I'm looking to showcase that next week against Thiago on April 27th in the bare-knuckle ring.
Last one for me. What about Darren Till? Was this fight ever offered for you? Were you guys close to fight? Was there an official offer for you both?
There was not an offer for me. His name never came through on contract for me because I think I was being told that he turned it down, and many times he said he didn't want to fight me bare knuckle. These guys don't want to fight bare knuckle because they're afraid of the damage that I can give them and take myself. And maybe they're afraid to hurt their hands up against my head. I mean, I definitely would plan to hurt their hands on my head if I could, just to land a shot and, you know, slow down some of their punches. You know, maybe Darren Till will finally get some fire under his butt, but I mean, to be honest, I keep thinking of Nate Diaz calling out Conor McGregor, and I think, Jake Paul, you're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. I'm gonna fight your fucking ass. You know I'm the real money fight. Obviously, he won't do a bare knuckle, but he's fighting. It's not these old men that you know that you're trying to beat. It's you got to fight me. I'm in my prime, 32 years young, and I got the hands, so I'm ready to put them to the test. I mean, both of Darren Till and Jake Paul. Don't get me wrong, the Darren Till fight, we both want that fight to happen. It's been years in the making. So, I mean, because Jake's got the fight against Mike Tyson. So, after this fight, we'll see what my turnaround time is. Darren Till's a fat bitch, and so is Jake Paul's a fat bitch. He's bigger than me. They're both bigger than me, but I'll get in there and punch both of those guys in the face. So, you know, I'm focused on Thiago right now. I got business to handle. Darren Till's fat ass hasn't been fighting for so long now. I don't know how long it's been. And he thinks he's just going to come back and get a big money fight with me. I mean, that's up to the business. That's up to the fans, the people who really wants to watch it. And if they're calling for it, and I heard, you know, I said yesterday that I heard that he turned down $2 million. I had a phone call with some management, and they said that he turned down $2 million. So, you know, it's, I'm ready. I'm ready to fight Thiago Alves next weekend.
Perfect. I'm gonna let you by yourself on the layout. Please send a message for your Brazilian fans and answer the question why they should watch your fight against Thiago Alves.
Obrigado, Brazil. Fala, galera. Platinum Mike Perry. Chama.